Hey guys, I am back again giving you the rundown on what happened in the NBA and NHL and giving my thoughts. Today is the 24th, so we are going to review the games via the title from the 23rd. Something I need to address really quick is me and Mike actually did the basketball one yesterday. I'm not sure seem to have lost the footage, or rather, he just can't send it. I think that's the issue. He can't send it. We're not sure why. So hopefully, I'll have that out eventually. I was able to upload the NHL because we didn't do that one together. I just did it like this, and I've had no problems doing this. So NHL was uploaded yesterday. NBA, we have it, but not sure where it is. It was like there was like 15 minutes about the Magic. You're not missing much. But anyways, let's start with today. Well, we did actually see some series in both leagues tied up, but we are not going to start with one of those. We're going to start with for the Suns. My heart is broken. I feel bad for them because of the Coyotes. I probably mentioned this in the first episode. Coyotes are done. Arizona fans, Phoenix fans, are feeling down in the dumps, and now they're down 0-2 to the Timberwolves, which 5 years ago would have been a freaking disgrace. Uh, but yep, that's what happened. The game started favorably for them, seeing Cat. Karl Anthony Towns got three fouls in the first quarter. He did like this giant. There was like this big Booker hit down in the paint where Booker was down for a little bit, but he got back up. He continued. He finished the game. But Cat was out of the game, I think, for the entire second quarter, and that should have given them some benefit, but it didn't. And there was even more controversy with Booker. He got into a little brawl with McDaniels, and they had to separate him. It was as I like both teams, right? I want the Suns to win the series because of the Coyotes, but I'm a fan of both teams, so unbiased. McDaniel started it. He blatantly shoved Booker, and Booker retaliated. I think they did end up giving Booker free throws, but gave him a foul as well because he did retaliate, and I think that was fair. I think that was good. Good call by the referees. We need to see more of that. Grayson Allen, I thought this man broke his ankle. I really did. He came down. I forget if it was after a shot. I think it was after a shot. He came down. I don't think he's going to play for the rest of the season. I'm sorry, the series at least. If they are lucky enough to win a couple at home here, maybe next because they did say that the X-rays are negative, which is a good thing in the doctor's world. Michael Scott. They did say the X-rays were negative. They said he's re-aggravated it. I thought it looked bad, but yeah. All right, so let's talk about um the play of these guys. It was still just unacceptable. Beal missed a dunk wide open. It was just disgusting. Booker is the only one who came to play, especially in the second or in both halves. Because in the first half, at the end of the first half, Durant and Beal were keeping it close with the Timberwolves. Booker was doing his thing here and there. Booker got 20. He could do better. KD 18, Beal 14. Definitely could do better. I'm like I said, if they just get these guys can easily average 25 a night. They can all three of them. So if they just average that's 75. I know your bench is weak, Phoenix. Your bench is clearly extremely weak. Um, especially after what we've seen here so far. So they're gonna need those guys to show up, and they're really just not. The Timberwolves bench, though, like I said, Cat did not play in the second quarter. McDaniels, I think he had. Do I have it here? 25 points. Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert also had 18 points. That's the whole game, by the way. Not in the second quarter. That'd be crazy. But I mean, when you think of the Timberwolves, you're thinking Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, and sure Gobert for like being a really good center, being under the basket and doing all that crap. Gobert, Conley, and McDaniels are not the three top scorers I thought I would see tonight. I'm not sure how many points Edwards got. I think it was somewhere around like 15 or something. I didn't write it down here, but it wasn't what we expect from Edwards, but we don't need it. You do not need that if your bench is scoring. And unfortunately for Phoenix, they don't really have a bench that could just open up and go off. And I feel like they really haven't. I mean, they had Crowder, they had Bridges. They weren't bench, but they were, supplements of Chris Paul and Booker, especially on that finals run, I'm pretty sure. So they gave up a lot to get a little. Those little pieces, or yeah, those few pieces were huge, but when they don't show up, it's just makes the super team not work. It really, really won't. And then Cat comes back in at the start of the third. This guy's been resting for a long, long time. He immediately hits a three, and I'm pretty sure a dunk. Like in the first like few minutes, he just comes in and starts lighting shit up. They're really doing whatever the hell they want in the paint, the Timberwolves. Gobert and McDaniels especially, they're just going right to there was like a big run where like the Suns didn't score anything and the Timberwolves just kept running to the paint. So you need to cover the paint, and you need your star players to show up. That's the bottom line for the Suns. They're going back home, which is always a good thing. Um, I forget who said it, but Barkley or someone. I was in the NBA. A series is tied until someone wins one on the road. Someone, I think Mike might have just said that actually yesterday. Um, so Phoenix could easily pull two here from home. Do I see them doing it? I changed my mind about this series. I did say Phoenix in seven, I think. I'll take Timbies in seven now. I don't think that they're going to win four of the next, not four of the next, how many? Six? I don't think they're going to do that for the Timberwolves, to the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves just have their number in the series, which, like I said, unfortunate. And I have right here, real quick before we move on, they did also go on a 9-0 run without Edwards or Towns in there. I mean, that's just not, you can't allow that to happen. Seriously, the Minnesota bench is showing themselves. Their their role players are showing themselves, and as for the Suns, they're non-existent, and and so are the Stars. The Stars are also non-existent. But let's move on. The Pacers with the highest score in the playoffs so far, 125, which obviously means they outscored the Bucks in this game. Siakam again, 37. Lillard again, 34. These guys were just making everything. It's just awesome to watch. I love to see a good back and forth between two players like that. We thought it was going to be what, Giannis versus Halliburton this series. Screw that. It's Siakam versus Lillard, which is pretty dang cool in my opinion. Miles Turner also had 22 points. Most of those came in the fourth quarter when they were trying to separate themselves from the Bucks. Nembhard, never heard of this guy. Probably butchered your name, buddy. He also got 20 points. So shout out to you, buddy. I don't know who you are, but you did pretty good. um, we need to see more. But the first gripe I'm going to have is actually against the Pacers, and it's in terms of Halliburton. Halliburton has been an assist machine as he's known to be, but he needs to score. And obviously, when Siakam is doing this, he doesn't. But are we sure? All right, Siakam got 35 plus 2 nights in a row. We're not going to see that every night. We're really not. I mean, there's no way. Um, so Halliburton, you need to start showing up in terms of scoring. He did have a lot of great assists. I'm not saying he's a ghost this series. In terms of what we expected of him, sure, yeah, he's a ghost. But in terms of being a team player, no, he is there and he's helping his team win. I'm considering him a X factor at this point in terms of, we thought like when's he gonna if he wakes up, this is gonna change the tide of the series, right? Like I think tonight Brook Lopez was a real big X factor for the Bucks. He was hitting all kinds of threes. I don't know his game very well, but I don't expect that from Brook Lopez. I expect that from like Lillard, but Lillard and Lopez. What I have here, the first um 21 points came from Brook and Lillard. So there's that. But we're in terms of the Pacers, Halliburton needs to start doing a little bit more. I was glad to see Miles Turner start scoring, get some of the weight off of Siakam's back. Obviously, he was really scoring when I don't want to say when it was over, but like just to really nail the coffin in. I think that was Turner's job tonight or last night. I'd like to see him be consistent throughout a game because so far the only one who's been consistent in scoring throughout the games is Siakam for them, and obviously Lillard for the Bucks. Um, let's see what else I got here. Bucks shot less than 50 from the field, but there and the Pacers 3-pointers were in the 40 percentile. I'm pretty sure the Bucks was 40% and the Pacers was 44. That is entertaining basketball. I really love to see that, but that means that they are doing nothing for jumpers and nothing in the paint. So the Bucks need to. I don't know if it's the defense from the Pacers or if it's just the Bucks missing some easy shots. I don't know too much about that kind of crap, but all I have to say is scoring the point or scoring the paint. Stop hitting just threes. That's how you're gonna end up winning your game. You shoot less than 50 from the field, but over 40 from the three. That tells me something about how you're playing inside the 3 point line. Not good. So at the end of the night, like I said, Lillard had 34, Lopez had 22. A lot of them were from the three. Yep. Ben Shepherd for the Pacers. I just needed to bring up. He like ran past the bucket for a layup and jumped and did like a backward shot. I'm like, dude, I have a basketball hoop. I was never a really serious player. I would always go for the backward shot. So shout out to Ben Shepherd for making me laugh because I saw it. I was like, that's what to do, but he's jumping, so it's even cooler. Um, but yeah, I remember last game. I said they needed to shut up Lillard. If they double covered Lillard successfully like they did in the second half of the first game, then they would win. They did not. They did not cover Lillard and they still won the damn game. It was a lot of, like I said, secondary scoring. We had three players above 20, including Nembham and Turner, as well as obviously Siakam. Um, but yeah, they just I guess maybe they don't need to tighten up Lillard. I mean, they should. They should. Let's not let Lillard get whatever the hell he wants here. But I just think it's funny that the Pacers. I said this is what the Pacers need to do to win. They refused to do it and they still won. Kind of a middle finger to me, showing I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought it was a pretty good take. But so for a conclusion, Bucks are going home. The Pacers. I'm sorry, they're going on the road. They're going on the road. The Pacers stole one from them at home, so split the series 1-1. And I have two things written here, and then a third thing. They need to tighten up on defense and score in the paint. The Bucks. And then it occurred to me they are missing Giannis big time because Giannis does both of those things excellently. If I recall, did he not get DPOY? I think he did. Um, so they are missing Giannis. Obviously, he's a tall Greek freak and probably scores. Not all. I mean, he's a great 3 point shooter. I do know that, but I'm sure he's also great from the field in terms of just around the basket. They're missing Giannis, and they need to figure out how to play without him. And now on to the last NBA game. We got the Mavericks and we got the Clippers. So remember last game when Gafford got hurt, he came back and got re-injured immediately, pretty much. I think like 9 minutes in. So I don't think they should Gafford for the rest of the series. Kind of the same story as Grayson Allen, not good. You want to know what was good tonight though? Luca. Luca showed up. They split the series 1-1. They got one on the road. Luca, what was it? Like 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists? Something close to that. Did I write it? 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 32 points. Okay, I might have said that. I forget. Um, Kyrie also had 23 points. Crazy shots from both those guys. They were highly contested. You can't really blame the Clippers for these two going off. They just do it sometimes, you know what I mean? The Clippers were maintaining themselves for quite a while. Um, Paul George, and James Harden also both had 22. And Zubac had a double double. Like I said, I never heard of this guy, and he is playing very, very well in this series. Kawhi was pretty dang quiet. Now, Kawhi has not played since March 31st. So what did we expect from him tonight? I'm not sure, but it needs to be better than that from Kawhi because they won without him, and then they just lost with him. So that's not. I don't want to blame Kawhi for losing. He did, like I said, he did only have 15. Zubac had a double double. George and Harden had 22. So Kawhi's the odd man out there. However, injuries are a bitch, and we don't know how he's feeling. We do not know how he's feeling. I figured they wouldn't bring him back unless they thought he was ready, given how well they played on the game one. But I mean, yeah, I mean, what is he gonna say? Um, Mavericks had another injury. Tim Hardaway had an ankle sprain and he was out for the game. I think he only played like 6 minutes. Don't know who that is, but I looked at his stats and he seems to be a good secondary scorer. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about. You know me. But yeah, I'll tell you what though. I did not know Russell Westbrook was 6 foot, and this guy is doing it all in terms of triple doubles over his career. So let's get a shout out for Russell Westbrook on an underrated game. He had 9 rebounds and 7 points in only 24 minutes played. He was a lot more, what should I say, relevant off of the score sheet. He was making some nice passes. Obviously, didn't lead directly to assists because he only had like 3 or 4. I didn't even feel the need to list it here. He also had a great block right in like the point of the game where the tide was kind of shifting to the Mavericks. He did have a great block. I forget who it was on, but I thought Westbrook had a decent game as well. But I mean, come on, guys, let's start talking about Luka. Like Jesus. So PJ Washington. So we're talking like at this point, I forget the lead for the Clippers. They had like somewhere between like a 4 and like a 6 point lead though. PJ Washington three, Clippers up the court, nothing. Luka Doncic three, Clippers nothing up the court. Kyrie comes back immediately, shoots a three, nails it. Part of a 14-0 run in the fourth quarter. Clippers, you can't allow that to happen. I mean, it's hard to say because all of those threes, I don't think any of them were give me's. I think maybe Kyrie's was. Luka's was definitely over someone. Luka's was very, very impressive, and I'm pretty sure Washington's was from a corner. I forget them exactly, but what a run from the Mavericks. And then Luka just started doing what Luka does. They put Paul George on him. He broke his ankles incredibly. Luka was just doing whatever he wanted there. And that's what you need to see from your star player, clutch time scoring. Like I said, like Miles Turner was starting to score right. And I know he's not Luka. I'm not comparing them. I kind of am. But you know what I'm saying. The difference between what Miles Turner did and what Luca did was Turner put the nail in the coffin. Luca picked the nail out of the box. He picked the best nail. He tested it. And then he started slamming it, slamming. That's what happened. And that's what you need from your superstar. You need him to be the reason you win, not the reason you get separation. And that is why, geez, Luca had a fantastic game. Um, And so I'm not sure if they were talking about Paul George, because I was watching the like I said, I'm watching all these games at once, man. So I don't hear everything from every game. So forgive me if I'm wrong. So I did end up watching the highlights this morning for each game just to see what I missed. And while Paul George was taking a free throw, it was right in the middle of Luca's big run. Paul George had free throws, and they said something about 20 straight playoff games with 20 points. So I'm not sure if they're talking about George or Luca. I think George because he was shooting his, I think 20th point or 21st point or something. Like I said, he had 22. He was shooting somewhere around there. These were the last couple of points. So I think Paul George could be wrong on that. Fact check me, but understand I admit that I'm not completely sure. And then at the end of the game, 3 point game, there's like 17 seconds left. Luca does this crazy ass bounce pass right by like a swinging hand of a Clippers defenseman, and it goes right to Kyrie. What a risky pass. Dude, Luca would be burned to a crisp if he let that happen, which is so unfortunate because, how that works in the NBA. He puts up this amazing performance, and then one boneheaded pass later, he's a laughing stock. He's a pariah. But nope, he did not get intercepted, and it was a great pass to Kyrie. So that series is split. The Pacer series is split. The Timbies have the angle on the on the Suns. I don't know what I said there, but let's jump into hockey. Something I definitely know how to talk about, and we are going to start with the Rangers and the Capitals. Caps. Decent try. Decent try. I can't be mad at a retirement home for being that much slower and ineffective than the superstar President's Trophy winning Rangers on the road. Capitals on the road. So we will start positively for the Capitals, where the Rangers had killed 20 straight power plays in terms of like, their last games. Then Dylan Strome gets one. And we were waiting for Dylan Strome. Dylan's great year for the kid. Why am I calling him a kid? He's like way older than me. Great year for him. Uh, um and he definitely very effective seeing how Backstrom got injured. Definitely needed some help at center, and Dylan Strome provided. Um, so great goal from him. But I hate talking about the same goddamn problems for the same goddamn team. But the Capitals, once again, were really undisciplined. Last game, it was Pacioretty retaliating when he knew he was getting a power play in crunch time. Today, or last night, it was Faravari taking, like, I forget, I think it was a cross check or some stupid crap behind, like, their own net. Maybe it was behind the opposing net. I think it might have been behind the opposing net right after Strome scored. What are you doing, dude? You're up. You're beating the Rangers and you take a dumb penalty like that. It irritates me, man. I want to see the Capitals. I don't know if I want to see them beat the Rangers because I don't know. Rangers haven't won the cup since the 90s. I don't hate the Rangers as much as everyone else. I like Panarin. But anyways, I would like to see the Caps get a few wins here, right? A couple, 2 or 3 wins. Maybe win the series. I don't know yet. I want to see a competitive series, and that just pissed me off. The Rangers, dude, 2 power play goals, 1 even strength, 1 shorthanded. We're talking about that shorty in a little bit. But they were edging the Capitals everywhere. The Capitals special teams were poor other than that 1 power play goal from Strome. And yet, like I said, their biggest problem is taking penalties and allowing Ranger power plays. It's ridiculous. Let's talk about Zibanejad. Zibanejad looking like he did 5 years ago when he was just lighting up every puck that he had. 6 shots on goal, a goal, and an assist. And that assist, like I said, we will talk about later because it deserves its own section of this video, in my opinion. Let's talk about Panarin really quick. Panarin, I think he might have had an assist or something. I know he scored last game, so I'm not saying he's a ghost. Um, However, his hit on Oshie, let's talk about that. He knocked Oshie out of the game. Oshie did end up coming back. That looked like a dirty hit. If the league wants to react, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I've seen dirtier, I've seen less dirty. So it does make me feel a certain way about Panarin's play there. And I don't like to feel that way because I do like Panarin. I think he's a great goal scorer, but that was a rough one. I wasn't a fan of that hit, especially on a Class A guy like TJ Oshie, who I am really happy. By the way, let's just say I'm really happy that Oshie's playing, right? Because I remember he had a non-contact injury around like February, and we all thought we saw his career end. Came back in a couple weeks, so glad for Oshie that he's back. Um, Other than that, yeah, the Rangers were all over the Capitals physically. Ovechkin, don't know what's going on with Ovechkin, man. I really don't. The guy did have 6 hits, but he was still unnoticeable, really. No, except for a turnover, which we're gonna talk about later. But Ovechkin, 6 hits. Rempe outmatched him with 7. They are not controlling Rempe, so no Ovechkin anywhere. He's invisible. I'm pretty sure it's their coach has spent. No, who the hell is a Capitals coach? I think I have the right name. Yeah, Spencer Carberry. So Spencer Carberry even said after the game, Ovechkin's been a ghost. Pretty damn funny. Um, and they're not hitting Rempe. The place lights up. The Madison Square Garden, they love Rempe, and I guarantee you, the Capitals, they're gonna I forget what is. Do they play a total mortgage? I forget. Um, they're going to hate him. And he's going to feed off of both of those energies. The Capitals need to take his number. And I don't think that's asking a lot from the Capitals of all teams. They were such a physical team for so long. They have Tom Wilson. Get him. F him up. And they're not doing it. Are they afraid they're going to beat him he's going to beat them in a fight? Maybe they're waiting to take it to Washington. I don't know why they're not dealing with Rempe, but they are not. And it is very frustrating because it is a clear thing that they need to do and would turn the series a little bit in their favor. Um, However, they did look a lot more awake in this game. McMichael's goal was terrific. Good break. I think it was a breakaway, but if it wasn't, it was definitely, limited defense back. Great job, McMichael. Good speed. Leperrier, I think he was kept off the score sheet. If not, he had an assist. He also looked very good. Had a lot of pressure. Um, I'm glad Jack Roslovic scored. I don't like I said, I want the Caps to win this, but I ate my freaking words on that. I said, why are Wenberg and Roslovic on the power play? I did say especially Wenberg. However, Roslovic did score his first playoff goal. Now, let's talk about that sequence. Yes, that sequence, that shorthanded sequence that I'm pretty sure put them up to the 4-goal mark. We're talking a Keandre Miller goal, but Keandre Miller, I'm gonna eat my words because he's gonna get like a hat trick next game or some crap. He was the least important person in this sequence. You had Ovechkin turn over the puck on the power play at his own blue line. Horrible play by Ovechkin. He is asleep for this series. Zibanejad got it from him. Passes to Kreider. Passes to Zibanejad. Passes to Keandre Miller. Score. Anyone could have shot that. Zibanejad the first time could have shot that. Kreider the second time could have shot that. Zibanejad the third time arguably should have shot that, but he gets a dicey pass right to Keandre Miller in the slot. So, okay, sure. Props to Miller for getting in the slot, but that is prime Zibanejad. That is the Zibanejad I know and frustrates me to no end, especially when he would play the Bruins. I remember Zibanejad always had a GOAT Wayne Gretzky-esque game against the Bruins back in the day. He's a fun player to watch. I will say that about him. But yeah, he is gonna have he has the Capitals number in this game at least. And if he continues to do that, it's a bad sign from the Capitals. So overall, great effort by the Rangers. Capitals need to tighten it up. They have a lot they need to work on. They did get a lot of shots, so I'm glad they did that and it opened up a little offensively. Ovechkin had a shot. Not sure how many. I should have written it down. I know I should have, but better game from the Caps. But that's not saying much because their first game was ass. Next, the Battle of Florida. Are you kidding me? We're opening with I don't you know what? I don't even give a shit. We're opening Sergei Bobrovsky. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm talking about. I don't even need to say it. I don't need to say it to you. I don't need to say it to the fans. We all know what I'm talking about. My guy was doing this. They did this and saved a game-winning goal. I mean, he's Santa Claus. Dude has eyes in the back of his helmet. What do you want me to say? Wow. I'm so happy for Bobrovsky that he's coming alive because he always in Columbus. He did have that one. Dude, he's owning Tampa again. He's doing it to Tampa again. 2019. Is Bobrovsky gonna sweep Tampa? I didn't even think about that shit. Oh my God. Bobrovsky owns Tampa. Oh. All right, I'm gonna stop fangirling. I do really like Bobrovsky, and I'm glad that he's having some playoff runs here now that he's out of armpit Columbus. Sorry, Blue Jackets fans, but can you deny me? Um, let's talk about the game. Same score, different game. Definitely a very different game. Sam Bennett opens the scoring, and then Tarasenko gets a power play goal. Cool to see Tarasenko score, for the Panthers, but let's quiet that down. You won a cup against you won a cup. Let's calm down, Tarasenko. It's not like seeing Roslovic score, which was nice. And Zibanejad, which was cool. Tarasenko, you can come. Sam Bennett did leave the game after, I think, blocking a shot. I think they said he got hit by a shot. I missed it. Obviously, I'm watching multiple games at a time, and they did not show it in the highlights because it was a de-highlight. Because Sam Bennett's a good player. I mean, shit. I mean, as much as I wanted Tampa to win this game, you can't deny that Sam Bennett is a stellar player for the Panthers, and injuries suck all around. So unfortunate that Sam Bennett got hurt. We had another injury scare. Anthony Cirelli, like a breakaway or something, went into the boards hard. He was unable to get up, got up and sat on the bench, and we all breathed a sigh of relief. And then he went to the locker room, and our hearts sank again. And then he was suddenly back out on the ice. So, very, very happy to see Anthony Cirelli stay healthy. Um, Obviously, Florida won this game in overtime. It was a battle of the goalies, and I think the focus is so much on Bobrovsky not only winning but on that backward save. You might be surprised to know that Vasilevsky had a better save percentage. .919 for Vasi, .913 for Bobrovsky, and that is if someone's like, oh, you're a Bobrovsky hater, but they're both really freaking good. I'm just saying Vasi had a night as well. He had some great saves as well. Bobrovsky stole the show from him, of course. I think they gave Vasi the third star, which is nice. But yeah, both these goalies had a great game. For what was I going to say? So we already went over the Florida goals. Tarasenko was on the power play. Point woke up for Tampa. Tampa had their big goal scorers out there. Point and Stamkos scored. Kucherov still off the board. Um, Stamkos from his office again in a consecutive game with a man advantage. Last game it was 6-on-5 with the goalie pulled. This game it was a power play goal. So Kucherov, I think he has 2 assists, so not complete ghost, but not what we expect from him. I forget who else we said. I think it's Tyrese Halliburton. Kucherov is Halliburton right now. They're getting they're doing things, but just not what the team needs them to be doing. Even though the Pacers did win that game. So let me see really quick before. Nothing I can really say against Tampa here. They did their best, and so did Florida. It came down to the goaltending and came down to that one shot, which we will discuss shortly. I think a very underrated player tonight was Chafee for Tampa. I don't even know the guy's first name. That's so underrated. Like we don't talk about this guy. He was out there in the offensive zone a lot. He was pressuring. His name was said a lot, and that's either a good or bad thing. But usually, when you're in the offensive zone, it's a good thing because that means that you are keeping it out of your defensive zone and giving your team opportunities to score. Um, let's talk about hits. Tampa was out hit again heavily. Mikola with 9. How did Matt Dumba with 10 last game respond? 1. Just a little heartbroken off of that Bobrovsky save because he was the one who shot it. I don't know. That was in the third, so no. I just forgot to bring up that Dumba shot that puck, so I felt I needed to here. Um, but yeah, no, don't know why Dumba dumbed down his game. Did not mean to do that on purpose. I swear, I think it was just. But yeah, good checking game for the Panthers, especially their defense, of course. Panthers, very physical team. They're going to probably out physical Tampa in this series. That's why Tampa needs to at least show some form of physicality to compete. Let's talk about overtime. Going into the overtime, already a bad sign. I'm pretty sure Florida has won 10 straight in the playoffs. So that fact check me on that. Could be wrong. I remember it was an insane number though that they won straight in overtime in the playoffs. And obviously Tampa, their most overtime playoff experience was allowing the Leafs to get past round 1. You can't get much worse than that. You really can't. We're gonna do it too. Us being the Bruins tonight. But yeah, we're gonna let Toronto get out of round 1 tonight. Of course, I don't know why I said tonight. Overtime. Tampa looked asleep. They really did, and then. So I mean, Tampa had a good game. So they just looked too tired to compete in overtime. That's all I have to say about that. Let's talk about Carter Verhaeghe. Let's talk about Carter Verhaeghe because I have some information for you on Carter Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe has 5 overtime winning goals in the playoffs. 5. That is third of all time, tied. Sakic had more. Paul Maurice. I saw Maurice. I just think we're talking about Florida. Maurice Rocket, Mr. Richard Rocket, also had more. That's it. He is tied with Patrick Kane and Corey Perry for the most among active players. They both also have 5. However, before you're like, oh wow, Carter Verhaeghe, same conversation as Kane in overtime play. No, absolutely not. Kane did it with 40 overtimes. Perry, 47. Sakic, 44. Verhaeghe, 14. Pretty good, right? 14. 5 for 14 overtime in the playoffs he scores. Verhaeghe is just a clutch. Obviously, he sealed the Panthers' win against the Bruins last year, so he had the most clutch ones. Verhaeghe is insane. I just don't even know. I don't even know. I don't want to like in terms of talking about Patrick Kane and Richard Rocket and Joe Sakic. Verhaeghe isn't in the conversation with those people. He really isn't. And yet somehow he does Justin Williams overtime in the playoffs. Mr. Game 7, Mr. Playoff Overtime. We need to start calling him that, Mr. Overtime, Verhaeghe. We really do. Like it's I don't even think there's an argument that if I was to say Mr. Overtime and someone's like, oh well what about Sakic? He has more. No, it's Verhaeghe. Don't even try to argue me. You're gonna lose that argument. Anyways, so if it goes to overtime again, Tampa. Triple cover this man. Let's talk about the Jets. The Jets dropped one at home. The whiteout was not satisfied, and Georgiev actually made a save. In fact, he made multiple saves in the 20s. He allowed 2 goals. We did not think that would be the case when he really quickly let one in from Gustafsson. I think Iafallo was brilliant on that play. How's the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade looking? I think Iafallo looked great on that play. He was standing in front of the net, kind of giving the illusion that he had the puck. He did not. It was Gustafsson. So Georgiev was all tied to thinking Iafallo had the puck and following like, oh, where is it? He has it. Nope. It's to your right, buddy. On Gustafsson's stick, and Gustafsson made no mistakes. Let's talk about the other Winnipeg goal. It did come after a couple of Colorado goals, but I do have it at the top of my list here because I thought it was freaking crazy. Samberg, Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know your name, first name, Samberg. He had 3 blocked shots on a double minor kill. And as soon as they killed it off, I said, use this. I said, use this momentum and score. That's exactly what they did. Scheifele and Velarde. Velarde to Scheifele. They are a good pairing. How is the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade looking? So the 2 goals tonight. Iafallo didn't have an assist, but may as well with that distraction scenario, and Velarde had an assist. So yeah, I don't like PLD. Anyways, that is all we really have for positives for the Winnipeg Jets. Hellebuyck. What do we think about giving Laurent Brossoit a try? And before you call me crazy, Mark. That's all I need to say. All I need to say. The right call last year for the Bruins was alternating, and we didn't. And guess what? Mark won the Vezina. Guess what Hellebuck's probably about to do? Win the Vezina. What do we think? And Brossoit is a really good backup. I'm not sure about Swayman level, but he's a really good backup. So what do we think about using Brossoit for Game 3? I think they're going to use Hellebuyck. I wouldn't be mad at either. Anyways, all right. So let's continue. Although he only had 2 shots and an assist, I know last game I said Rantanen was invisible. I saw Rantanen tonight. He had a lot of pressure. Kind of like I said, Chafee for the Lightning. Always seemed to be in the offensive zone when Rantanen was out there. He got pretty unlucky in terms of, actually getting it past the goalie or even getting it on Hellebuyck. But Rantanen, you could feel his pressure. Let's talk about that first Colorado goal. Ross Colton wins the faceoff, and Miles Wood. That's probably tied with the fastest goal I've seen off a faceoff. I saw one with 1 second left in overtime live against the Senators Bruins. Senators scored with 1 second on the clock off a faceoff. That is what this felt like. This gave me firm reminder of that. Good goal by Miles Wood, his second of the playoffs. And let's discuss that really quick. Not only did Wood get his second goal in So he scored in both games, right? Miles Wood got his sorry, his he scored in game one. He scored in game two. Nikushkin scored in game one. He got the empty netter game two. Artemi Lehkonen scored in both games. We'll talk about those goals later. Um, Actually, I don't think I have Lehkonen's written down. Guess we won't. I think. Oh, I remember what it was. It was Manson. I'm pretty sure, or Taves from the point, um, off of Hellebuck, and Lehkonen was just there in front and just scooped it in. Are those the three players you'd expect? Maybe I would have expected Nikushkin. He's kind of put himself in a third goaling, third goal scorer position since obviously it was Landeskog, Rantanen, McKinnon, easy top three. Now McKinnon's on top. Rantanen is clearly number two. I feel like Nikushkin is settled into a third spot there. So maybe I would have guessed Nikushkin, not Miles Wood or Lehkonen. What a pick! I always thought Miles Wood was a decent player. I wasn't a big fan of his because I remember. I'm pretty sure he kind of lit up the Bruins a couple of times while he was on the Devils. I thought that was a good acquisition during the off season for the Avalanche. No one was really talking about it. I'm glad he's showing it off now. Oh, by the way, real quick, there should be a trade of the season award in the NBA or NHL or whatever. And Pacers win that with Siakam. I did mean to say that. Best trade easily at the deadline this year. Anyways, back to hockey. Um, yeah, let's talk about Hellebuck real quick, man. We already did. Let's talk about that third goal though, where he was behind the net, got trapped. How many times have we heard this story? Not just Hellebuck, but a lot of goalies. It's one of the most frustrating things as a hockey fan to see your goalie go behind the net and give it up. I thought he had because he did get in front and make one of the saves, but he was obviously disgruntled in his position, down on his side. And who potted it other than who I wanted to? Zach Parise. So if you watched yesterday's video, I said that or maybe 2 days ago, I forget whenever 2 days ago, um, the Knights and Stars played. Ryan Suter got a goal called back, and I felt bad for him. I've always felt for Ryan Suter and Zach Parise since they got let go by the Wild or bought out just out of nowhere. They're both chasing cups. They could meet up in the second round. Not looking positive for the Stars, but Avalanche did win, obviously, so maybe. Um, and I'd like to see Ryan Suter and Parisi do well. So very happy that Parisi got one. Although I do want Winnipeg to win this series. And as much as it pains me to say, let's talk about the Manson goal. I blame Velarde for it 100%. How's that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade looking? No, just kidding. But they were in the box, Velarde and Manson, 4-on-4 hockey, and 4-on-4 ended, and Manson got a breakaway. Velarde was slow getting out of the box. He was not on his game. McKinnon had eyes. Once again, brilliant player McKinnon. I don't even think I brought him up yet in this, because he didn't have the world's best game. Like he didn't have a McKinnon caliber game, but I mean, that's just getting 4 points a night. But McKinnon, great eyes on McKinnon to see Josh Manson getting out of the box. Noticed that Velarde was not on him, and Manson scored. So, hate to see it, Velarde. You're still a young player. You're going to make those mistakes, though. So, can't really. I mean, you can blame him, but yeah, I'm just going to stop there because I'm going to get too biased because I like Velarde. Yeah, so in the third period, I don't. Both teams gave up limited shots. I think maybe Colorado had three and Winnipeg had like seven or eight. So good job by both of the defenses to make it a boring ass game. In the end, what was I gonna say? Sean Walker, I feel was the only Avs defenseman who did poorly. I hate it. Also, the only Avs trade deadline acquisition that hasn't really done anything. He was -2 tonight, not working for them. I guess Duhaime isn't doing much of anything either, but he is just supposed to be out there to kind of facilitate a penalty kill and get some hits. He had 4 hits, so nothing crazy, but yeah, I mean, at least he's not -2. Sean Walker, dude, y'all scored 5, they scored 2. How are you -2? So not very good for him. But I mean, if we're gonna start talking about trade deadline acquisitions doing nothing, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Toffoli and Monahan have done nothing. Ehlers too. I really like Ehlers as well. Obviously not a trade deadline acquisition, but these guys have been silent. Kyle Connor was silent this game. He did get a goal last game, so I can't really say that. But I mean, you scored 7 last game. I figured Ehlers, Monahan, and Toffoli would be part of that, but they weren't. Um, bad series so far for those three guys. They need to wake up in Colorado. Colorado stole one on the road. They have home ice now. Not good. Adam Lowry, also, I think he had a good game tonight. Off the score sheet, another one of those guys that was in there pressuring, drew a couple penalties, doing captain things. I like Adam Lowry. I think he had a pretty good game. But with that being said, Jets need to find a way to beat Gorgiev again. I think was it them? No, it was the Stars. So I'm gonna scratch that. Um, but I think Gorgiev had a really good game. I'm not sure he's gonna have another one of those, but try to get a nice play in there. I would say in the first period of the next game, try to get a nice nifty goal and try to open the floodgates with that. If he lets one leak by him, I'm sure he's gonna be like, "Yeah," and try to show that he's not a bum. But if you get a good one in on him, he might get scared. So just some fancy passing. Velarde to Shifley. Just a thought. All right, last game. These videos are getting long. Um, Nashville and Vancouver. So Demko, not sure what happened with Demko. He did play the entire game, game one. Obviously, he wasn't playing at the end of the year. Um, for the Canucks, he was injured. I guess he must have re-aggravated it. He might be out for the first round. What does that mean for the Canucks? It means this. Let's talk about Casey DeSmith's game first and foremost. He did not look good. They would have lost this game with Demko in the net. So we cannot blame Casey DeSmith for the loss. It's not like if Demko didn't get hurt. No, you guys scored one goal, and it was Nikita Zadorov with your fourth line out there. You guys are invisible tonight. So nope, they would have lost that game even with Demko. However, Casey DeSmith did not show me anything promising. He did not show me 2017 Matt Murray. Did not see that from him. Not that we expected to, but that's what he's going to kind of need to do if they want to make a really good run here and Demko's out long term. If they want to get past the first round, no, he doesn't have to do that. You know what they need to do to get past the first round? Wake up, wake up, wake up, everyone. Everyone. I see Elias Pettersson taking shit. That's because Pettersson had a bad game. Pettersson had a bad game. Besser. Where were you again? You didn't do anything, dude. You didn't do anything. Neither did you, Miller. So, I mean, yes, they didn't necessarily have a bad game, but they had a bad game because they didn't do anything, but at least they didn't turn over the puck. So Pettersson is taking the heat for everyone because Pettersson had that horrible turnover. Let's talk about Zadorov versus Bavillier. No, they did not fight. However, the Canucks traded Bavillier earlier in the year to get Zadorov. They didn't do a 1-for-1, obviously. They sent his contract to Chicago so they could get him from the Flames. Um, Take away the fact that Zadorov scored. Take it away. That was a cheeky goal. Um, what's his name? Saros should have had that one. I don't think that was at all impressive from Zadorov. I don't think Zadorov has been impressive at all. Meanwhile, Bavillier, score, assist. I think he might have had an assist in the first game. Bavillier has looked really good, beyond what I ever thought he could be with the Predators so far in the series. So looking really bad for them right now. The looking bad for the Canucks in terms of we let this guy go for this guy. Um, Pretty dang bad. Um, let's see. Oh, this is big. 72 shot attempts from Nashville to 25 shot attempts. 72 shot attempts from Vancouver, 25 from Nashville. Out of the 25 from Nashville, 16 made it to net. Out of the 72 for the Canucks, 18. Predators blocked 30 shots. The others dismissed. Canucks, you need to get pucks on the net. You need to challenge Saros is a great goalie. You're going to need to challenge him a lot more than whatever you did last night. It was rough. And let's talk about for Nashville. Y'all had no defensive shots. Your defense had no shots on net. So I don't know if that just means y'all were really, really efficient at tipping and DeSmith making those saves. Cause I think there was one redirection goal. I think it was the first one was a redirection goal. Forsberg shot it, and I think that was Bevillier's actually. But no shots from defensemen. I don't know if they're just getting in the slot a lot with their wingers and their centers, but that has to say something, right? I just don't have much intelligence. I just noticed on the stat sheet, you know. Um, Nashville had no shots on net from 11 minutes left in the second to 9 minutes left in the third. That's pretty dang crazy. Like I said, the shots were not there for either team really. The shot attempts were apparently there for Vancouver, but obviously nothing really got through to Saros. Let's talk about Elias Pettersson now. Like I said, the whole team can be scaled for their BS, but we do have to talk about this horrible play that he had. He was -3, which was the team's worst. Getting out of his blue zone, he did an Ovechkin, which typically would be a good thing, but last night, no. He gave the puck up to Colton Sissons, who passes for Zucker, who passes for Bavillier. Bavillier shoots, rebound, score, Sissons. That was a lot, I know. All I can say, though, is it shouldn't have happened. Because you have Elias Pettersson, who's your big money player with the puck, and he gives it up at the blue line, and you have a skeleton of Jason Zucker coming in. Now, I know you have limited defense at that point, but the fact that you would give this up, like that was a really, really rough transition for the Canucks, and it's something that you cannot see from your star player like Ovechkin or like Pettersson. Dude, like, shit. If like Laperriere and like Di Giuseppe gave up that crap, like, who cares? I mean, it does suck because they scored, but like, that's not a sign of things to come. You know, those players need to be solid, maybe take away ice time. If you, I don't want to take away ice time from Pettersson. I don't think any Canucks fan wants to do that because we know what he can do. So he needs to sharpen his blade and do some shit. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and got 2 goals next game, you know? Like, he's that kind of player. But he's just not playing like that. It's horrible. I don't like seeing him play this poorly. And I want to see more from Besser and Miller. I think Miller had an overrated year. I think he had a great year, but people are talking about how he had like this insane year. I think there are a lot of drawbacks to his play as well. He couldn't stay out of the box for at least a stint that I watched them a lot. Miller was constantly going to the box. Um, I think Besser had a better year. Obviously, Quinn Hughes had a better year, but I if they want to win the series, which I like both teams, I would prefer the Canucks though. We're gonna need to see some leadership from Besser, Miller, and Pettersson easily. We're seeing it from Quinn. We are seeing it from Hughes. Hughes did not have a bad game. He had an off game, did not have a bad game. Perfect. Pettersson had a bad game. Besser had an off game. Miller had an off game. Um, yeah, the only Nux goal, like I said, bottom line, not good, not a good sign. The hitting, I think the Canucks actually had a lot more physicality. Like I said, they had the puck for more time. They just couldn't get it on net. Their offense was just stinky. Jeremy Lauzon, who I'm pretty sure led the league in hits this year, and it was a significant margin. 7 hits. I still hate him. Former Bruin. Don't like him. I was so glad when Seattle picked Lauzon. I was like, friggin' idiots not picking Clifton. But anyways, Dakota Joshua had 8 hits and DiGiuseppe had 6. So that's pretty good. I mean, DiGiuseppe, like I said, that bottom line. So the bottom line for the Canucks look decent. Like I said, I think all the lines for the Canucks are really good. It's just I guess hit or miss if they show up on particular nights. Um, but yeah, hopefully they can get Thatcher Demko back. Like I said, this is not on Casey DeSmith. However, I'm not sure they can advance with DeSmith like they would be able to with Demko. But bottom line, gonna end it here with the Canucks game is that we had Forsberg, Nyquist, and Sissons showing up in terms of offense for the Predators. We're not going to talk about defense. Josi whatever, Quinn did whatever, you know. But we have these guys on offense who led the Predators this year in offense, showing up, scoring, assisting, being a presence. That was Pettersson, Miller, and Besser this year. They need to counteract it. They need to do the same. If they can't stop Forsberg, Nyquist, and Sissons, they're going to have to equal what they're doing, and they aren't even remotely doing it. I don't want to say they're not trying, because obviously 72 shot attempts is something. At least you're not just sleeping out there, but you're not getting pucks to the net. You're putting yourself in positions where it can get blocked, or you're just missing the net entirely. So, bad look for the Canucks last night, all around. Goaltending, defense was fine, I guess. It was like, but offense definitely could have used a spark. For a team with 72 shot attempts, you think something would happen, but nope, 1 goal. So obviously not very good shot attempts. But that being said, that is all I have for today. We have more matchups tonight. I think we only have 2 NBA games tonight: the Celtics and the Pelicans. Both teams that I particularly enjoy. And obviously, the Bruins and the Leafs are tonight. God help me. God save the Queen being my heart and my sanity. And also the Golden Knights Stars, Kings, Oilers. Can't wait to see the Oilers go up to. Ooh, I just jinxed them. But that is all for today. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow giving you the same kind of thing.